for instance, to Machewa, Virunda, Katudip, Sabata, Mbai, Mbao, with the numbers, with the specific numbers. Namwichula, Halwenge, all those places.
We have all of them.
That distribution chain.
It's here, we have. Of course, there are 25 files.
Yes.
Because I've got 25 wards. And some wards have got more like 2-3 files because there are 2-3 venues.
So do you need time? Do you want to table them now, or do you need how much time do you need to bring those documents?
They're just in the vehicle. They can be brought.
Yes, I think rather than be brought then.
You know, the problem is we are not told the required documents. You look at the questions, Chair. So that's fairly straightforward. This information. But now these particular details, you know, if we're told now come with this and this and this, not be having this, we'll be having all this information.
Okay, so let him avail those documents as we proceed. Senator, any other question?
Maybe, Chair.
Yes, Senator Abbas.
You see, I was there at public presentation when they could distributing the seals. What criteria do you use? Or you give it to everybody, or you give it to specific farmers?
As I said,
Or you give it to groups?
No. We use the poverty index to identify the number of eligible people for this seat in Tanzania. One of our guiding principles was that we'll give farmers who have a maximum of 0.2 acres. We call them Puidimili. The 2 kgs of maize seed would comfortably be planted on 0.2. So prior to the distribution of these seeds, we had identified the would-be beneficiaries, and the numbers were huge. Because some places we get around 10,000 people, 15,000 people. When we issue this seed, and outside I would think it's a very chaotic assignment, but they don't know that a lot of planning has gone into it. We know our people, we know who is eligible, and we know who is not eligible. So it was not just like we call a random distribution seed. That's why we put a list of beneficiaries.
Governor, just on that question, I think it's good to clarify. Where did you get the poverty index for Tanzania? Because there's none.
Kipra.
Because there's none. Where do you get disaggregated to the wards? How do you determine poor people in Tanzania? And does it mean that if you own half an acre or 0.2 acres, as you say, then you are poor? Because there are people who own half an acre and are richer than those who own 10 acres.
Mr. Chairman, those of us who grew in the village, you don't need that to make a poor person. But there are people who think that poverty is an academic exercise. So you engage in those kind of arguments. But a person who is poor, you go to the village, just this person is poor. And that's what we're talking about. A person having 0.2 acres of land, and he has got 10 children, he has got a wife, is about to share that same piece of land with the children who are married. You know, poverty out there doesn't need indicators, academic indicators. It's just lived. It's known. I feel like the Tanzania talking about 38% poverty index, but you look at other authorities, again they talk of 60%. So basically, like every little small-scale farmer in Tanzania is poor. If it were for me, I wouldn't even do targeting. And if I had money, I'll just buy seed and distribute to everyone.
Governor, I'm asking this because I personally distribute seed. I buy and distribute.
I'm sure you struggle with meat testing, even the way she struggle with meat testing.
Except the money from my pocket. But let me answer the question.
Yes.
What was the threshold of poverty that your team used in seed distribution? Or did you involve, I think it's talking about public works, did you involve the ward administrators and other levels of administration to identify people who are poor?
There is a criteria that is contained, it's on page 4. I read it. The criteria is there, eligibility criteria.
Through the chair. I'm looking at the criteria and the good minister is here. It says in your report, selection of beneficiaries was conducted through a thorough vetting process by designated ward selection committees. If I stop at that and ask through the governor, do you have minutes of the planning as a minister, the planning for the distribution of those seats at the county level, the minutes of that thing, and then escalate that to the minutes of formalizing or formulating these committees which you are in charge to formulate? And where were they done? And at what time? And then we proceed from that. When did you officially appoint these people? And that now comes to the question. Where, Governor, when you're talking us through that it was announced in various platforms. I'd like to see if you have copies of notification to the chiefs that you have indicated, to the ward administrators as you've indicated, to the representatives of the county assembly, like my good friend who is here. If we can get those notices of notification that this is the process that's going to be done. Do we have those minutes and that through the governor?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, proceed, Governor, proceed.
Mr. Chair, we appear to be addressing issues we do not know. What is the issue? Are we saying that we not distribute seat? Are we saying that we gave to the wrong people? Are we saying that we did buy seat? Because we need to know what the issue is. What is the issue that we are responding to? When we look at our investors, these are just general statements. When we go into the specifics, what is, was there a complaint? What is the issue? So that we really know the background, so that we respond. Because what the member is talking about, it gives the investors a set way of distributing maize seed in Kenya. So you must have this committee, you must have this one. What authority is it putting? So we need to know what the issue is, what are the issues.
Through the chair, let me just go through this. Page 4 of the submissions of eligibility criteria. Small scale landowners who are poor, widows, youth, persons with disability, and all that. Selection of beneficiaries was conducted through vetting process by designated ward selection committees.
Yes.
So the question I asked for the first time is, where are the minutes of these ward selection committees as they were doing the vetting exercise? That is my point number 1.
Let us note that one.
May I proceed?
What the minutes of what committees?
The ward selection committees.
Yes.
And if the vetting was done, the minutes must indicate those people they vetted. Yes. Because it must translate into the list of beneficiaries of the seats that you procured. Okay? And I've equally asked good Waziri to give us if she has the minutes, because you have the authority. The first meeting of planning for the distribution of these seats to the ward, if you have those minutes, so that it cascades down to the beneficiary of the seats.
Through the chair, yes, we do.
Proceed. Do you have them? You can table them.
The minutes of what selection committees? Which files?
They were appointed by the CCM.
Yes.
Yes, so let's have the minutes of their proceedings so that we then can identify those beneficiaries. I'm sure they did. And Governor, you're asking, what are we looking for? We are not looking for anything. We are doing oversight over your processes as by the mandate of this committee, so I don't think you should be worried. And just to you have another question? Governor, Mr. Abbas, Senator, do you have any other question?
Maybe mine is actually on the same line. Honorable Speaker, Governor. You know, when you distribute these kind of foods, seeds, and every vote, there must be a part of concern where the receiving people, you have some evidence of where you are delivered, or there are photos or anything, that's what process where you met.
Chair, we have got all that information. And I say the documents we have are valid because the committees are per ward, and we've got 25 of them. We have all the information here for all the wards, the minutes, the list of beneficiaries per ward we have. And we are going to tap on all of them.
Governor,
if you check on your page 53,
proceed.
You look at page 3, it's appointment. These our appointments were done. To what?
Sorry, which page?
53.
Okay.
That's an example of one guy who was appointed and never failed. Moiben, MCS representative. This was on the 17th of July 2024. Chair, if you can allow me to read the appointment letter.
Proceed.
Like now, this appointment letter. Appointment to what subcon for subcon committee for scheduled crop Fukuza Njaa initiative. The county government of Trans Nzoia Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Corporate Development is implementing the Fukuza Njaa initiative. The program is aimed at promoting food security in the county by promoting adoption and use of certified maize seeds by small-scale farmers. The program involves identification of beneficiaries, training of farmers, distribution of certified maize seed, and monitoring and evaluation. Purpose of this letter is to communicate the decision to appoint you as a ward-level committee member for Fukuza Njaa initiative for a period of 1 year from the date of this appointment. Your duty shall be to attend Fukuza Njaa initiative ward-level committee meetings, help in identification and vetting of beneficiaries in accordance with the set out guidelines, conduct regular monitoring and evaluation, give reports on the progress of the agricultural programs in your ward. I wish you well as you advance services for this great county. This letter is signed by Hatun Fanis Naliaka, the county executive committee member for agriculture. Then on the next page, page 54, there's a sample of the minutes of the meetings that were held. You can go through and see what it talks about. And this applies to all the wards. And we're going to supply appointment letters for all the members, committee minutes, and distribution lists for the beneficiaries, because we have all of them.
Chair,
Yes, Senator.
Chair, through you, I think, as the governor had mentioned earlier before, that the 7 days was not enough for him to organize documents, more documents. Maybe for the documents that are not present, I'm just praying if the governor can be given time to table those documents.
Yes, he has not said whether he has the minutes of all the 25 wards or the 25 committees that were appointed.
We have.
And if he has all the list of all the beneficiaries.
We have.
And you have all details, all bank statements that paid Kenya Seed that was procured.
Yes.
And you have all the details, all those who got the IDs, you have all those.
All that.
And
you can even have a sample.
And you might even say you've also brought them.
If needed, they can be brought.
I will request through the chair that
even the samples of the list of beneficiaries should be forwarded.
Yes, even the list of
It's not a sample. It's a complete list. The actual list of the beneficiaries we have.
It's very encouraging to have the entire list. We will need those lists presented on our chair.
So, the governor, you will present them now, or will you ask for time?
You need copies of the lists or originals?
We need the original list, because we need copy, we need to have them presented as per the...
Because now we are having we are having an annual audit.
Yes.
That just started last week.
Sure, I think I'll advise eligible.
And I'm sure they're going to require
this one is not eligible, actually. This one is actually not a proper.
With legible, because we need to have legible documents so that we don't come down. Because we look at, as long as they're properly marked.
Chair, I'll request that you give us a list of all the documents that you need, so that when you go back to Kitale, we just prepare whole bundles and have them delivered here.
Okay.
Yes, Senator Bass.
Yes, Chair, I think, as the letter said, the governor said, the secretary can type all those things, all those that are required, so they can agree with this really short time. One other question I have is that, Honorable Governor, what is your long-term plan to see now that this program, compare with it, and you cannot be able to be spending a lot of money on this, spending 100 million to and what is the plan for seed bulking and seed productions? Do you have a land for seed bulking?
Chair, when the county government decides to buy seeds for farmers, and it generates a lot of excitement among the farmers, it goes to explain the level of poverty among the farmers, especially food poverty. We've given ourselves another maybe 2 years. We go spend out a lot of programs of improvement. There's a lot of food security at the household level now. Actually, we're planning to do a bit of auto subsidizing fertilizer, so that we really produce enough food. So once we are satisfied that our farmers really now produce food and therefore start engaging in other economic activities, we're going to stop this, because even tokenism doesn't really last. It appears to be tokenism really, but we're just saying. So once they are stable and they can stand on their own 2 feet, they can go to the shop and buy their own seed. We'll be good to go.
Now that you're talking about sustainability, it's important follow-up question. Did you follow up? Did your CCM and team follow up to find out, 1, whether the seeds germinated, 2, whether they are ready in the fields, and 3, whether there are proper follow-up mechanisms that you intend to, as it were, M&D, whether you want to be following up this program as a continuous program of the county, or was it just a one-off?
It's not a one-off program, because you can't fight poverty in just 1 year. So it's a long-term program. Actually, I'm going to focus on this for my first time in office, this first 5 years. Provision of seed is going to be key. But Chair, I want to beg you, because you guys are Mchakorogewa, Nairobi, why can't you find time and come to Kitale? Just come to Trans Nzoia.
So you want us to visit the farms?
Please.
Governor?
Please, I can even facilitate it. Just come to the ground. So don't talk an academic exercise just being done somewhere. Just come and see for yourself, especially now. Just come. Because we're talking as if this something just happened somewhere in the air, the beneficiaries are not there, Kenya seat maybe is not there. Please come to the ground.
Sure.
Yes,
I think I want to tell the governor that the Senate has enough money to cannot be presented. We don't need presentation. However, it's good to visit the place to see at least how farmers appreciate the program.
Governor, understanding Order 228, we are well resourced, so we can, this committee can determine the mode of conducting its proceedings. We can decide after hearing you and after going through all these voluminous documents to visit, to actually come and see some of the farms. I have noted that in some pages, I think there are people who signed for others. I've seen, for instance, this is Napiswa. Napiswa, I can see that Pauline Nasimiyu, Kutuhulu, and Alubina Naliaka Simiyu have the same ID number. They are both widows and they have the same signature. For instance, so that these are the concerns which you may not know, and which the CCM may not even know. But that brings me to the question: was this program foolproof? Can you speak for this program, or are there people who received seeds for other people, or people who are not poor who came in and received seeds for other people?
Chair, the standards that you are holding me true, you can't even hold yourselves true.
No, my list of no
Because when you can get one person, maybe getting to, those things we must make a provision for them. One person assigned for the other, really it happens. But if you want to come to Trans Nzoia, don't take too much time because this maize is not just stagnant, it's growing. You come around October, you find more maize. You have harvested. So please come in this month of June, July, and we'll just see the beauty of Trans Nzoia in terms of maize. The plantations or small scale farmers, but it may look like just a like plantation, but they're different, only by different small scale farmers.
Through the chair. Number 4 of the submissions on page number 4 on the eligibility. The acreage was there, widow, elderly persons with disability, resource poor individuals, selection, That is page 4. Now I want us to go to page 53. The minutes that we just read there. And look at what was introduced. And then that one will inform us to ask a question which I'll bring later. The chair gave out guidelines and criteria to be used for those to benefit from seed maize as follows. 1 should be a resident of Saboti Ward.
Which page?
Mine reads 53. Mine reads 53.
On the report?
Yes, of the governor's submission.
53?
Yes, page 53. Mine is 53. I think we have an issue with the numbering. Are we all there? So the minute says, the chair gave out guidelines and criteria to be used for those to benefit from seed maize as follows. Should be a resident of Saboti Ward, at least have 0.1 of an acre of land, should either be of the above persons, should be one who can acquire fertilizer for the farm. Now, when the minister was giving directions up here, there was no criteria that they should acquire fertilizer to the farm. Because a poor person without the capacity cannot be able to buy. Then it brings me to my other question. In the financial preparation of planning, was there any money set aside for fertilizer, subsidy fertilizer for the farmers? And if so, how was it used? And how were the beneficiaries found? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Governor.
Chair, before the governor
First question. There are too many questions there.
The Governor, hold on before Senator.
Yes, I am chairing another committee. Yes,
So, Senator, do you have any remarks or any questions or any clarification you need from the government before you leave? So you can take up that question together with.
No, Chair, I think I am just a friend of the committee, and I believe the committee has their own mandates. So I think I was just begging for, as I was saying, I was just begging for, of course, fairness in whatever is being prosecuted. But I thank you.
Senator, I hear you to say that we are fair in our proceedings and that you're happy with the proceedings. Thank you.
Fair.